From the latest on Caribbean cruises to kosher safaris, pilgrimages to Jewish Eastern Europe, and award-winning wines and international cuisine in sun-drenched Tel Aviv. Sit back and enjoy the trip with the travel edition of the Jerusalem Post podcast.
How are you feeling, David?
Well, after the flight from Tel Aviv to Dubai, I can't complain because we travel business class.
You can complain. I've heard you complain.
Thanks to Emirates. We had a wonderful flight. It was great. But the truth is, I do have persistent neck issues. I also have an ongoing back issue. Skin do you want everything?
Well, we've got a whole podcast to do, so you can carry on complaining for 40 minutes.
All right, your turn then. What about you? How are you doing, Mark?
I'm good. I've been here a day longer than you.
Yeah.
I've been to 2 or 3 breakfast buffets already. Weight management, I think, is becoming a problem on this trip.
So, obviously, we need a solution. And the reason that we have come on this trip is to begin the process of finding a solution to our health issues whilst having an extremely good vacation.
We're in the United Arab Emirates. Where are we going to find this solution?
We've done Abu
Dhabi.
We've done Abu Dhabi.
We've done Abu Dhabi. We love Abu Dhabi.
But there's a whole world of Emirates to discover. Just like in the United Kingdom, you've got Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales and England, which are all sort of principalities within the UK, little countries. You've got the same thing in the United Arab Emirates. There are 7 of them. So we've now come to Ajman.
Was that the quiz question? How many Emirates are there? Because that's kind of ruined it.
No, but it's extremely close. We'll get there in a few minutes. We're in Ajman, which is one of the Emirates, and we've come to a beautiful area called Al Zora. It's by the marina. We've got a golf course, 30 yards from where we're sitting now?
Well, that's at least 3 shots for me.
And we've come to
ZOYA Health and Wellbeing Resort.
We've just arrived. We've had a quick look around. What we're going to be doing over the next couple of days is understanding how you can have a great time, you can get healthy, you can get fit, you can get your skin shining. Anything that you want to do to improve your body, you can do it here.
And if you fancy a break from being healthy, you can go for a healthy walk and visit the mangrove.
Just the other side of the swimming pool.
And the golf course.
And in the swimming pool, there's a little bit roped off where there are bicycles within the swimming pool, so you can exercise whilst getting the suntan and so on. So we're going to be having a fab couple of days. Are you okay with vegan food, Mark?
I've done it before.
We haven't tasted yet, but we've seen. It looks wonderful.
There's no coffee here.
We had a beautiful green tea.
And we had a really nice smoothie.
There was ginger, carrot, orange. It was excellent.
There's no alcohol here.
Which is not for religious reasons. This is a place for getting healthy. So Mark and I, with our unfit bodies and our equally unfit minds, as you know, listening to this podcast,
are going on a journey.
We hope you join us after the quiz question. And Mark has already kind of spoilt the question, but he kind of...
You spoilt it.
No,
you gave the answer.
No.
Question number 7.
Question number 1, and the only question on this podcast, is as follows. There are 7 Emirates within the United Arab Emirates. We've already mentioned 3 of them on this podcast, which are Abu Dhabi, the capital, Dubai and Ajman. Can you name the other 4?
Join us in ZOYA in Al Zora at the end of this podcast for the answer.
Make yourself comfortable as much as you can. I need to ask you, do you have any allergy to heat?
No.
Perfect. And how's your blood pressure so far?
I take medication.
Is it stable so far?
Yes, it's
stable.
Okay,
so do you have like a regular checkup?
I go to the doctor every year for blood tests and checkup.
So far everything is stable, all
Good
right?
blood pressure, good glucose, good, what's the other one? Cholesterol.
Amazing.
Good shape given my bad shape.
All right, good to hear. So let me ask you this, please. Do you have any type of motion sickness?
No.
So what we're gonna do now is called water relaxation bed. It's a type of floating therapy. So as you can see, it's a normal bed, and underneath the bed there is a water. The water temperature is between 38 to 42 Celsius. So it's a warm therapy, but you will receive the whole treatment without getting wet. It's type of a dry therapy. Just relax yourself.
Dr. Ahmed is the other voice that you've been hearing. He's now covering Mark over, first with a full-length brown towel, and now with something that looks as though perhaps it's rubberized flaps that are going over all of his body. He's now pressing a few buttons.
Yeah, so now we are starting the first step, which is like the water will start pushing all your body up until you're 100% floating. And then we'll start the jets to massage your paraspinal muscles from your neck down to your lower back.
David, can you scratch my nose?
Are you serious? Really want your nose scratching?
I feel like I'm being wrapped. I can't really feel the water, but it's like the walls of this bed are closing in on me. But very nicely. It's very soft.
From where I'm standing, the whole bed is rising up.
I thought I was going down.
Actually, it's going up, but you feel you're going down because you're sinking in the water. So this is how it works. So now you're being floating.
This sounds like something the CIA should be using.
No comments on that.
You are a very, very sensible man.
So I just moved my head, and all of a sudden I felt like I'm in the air. I'm on water. I'm getting that feeling now. This is brilliant.
The type of floating therapy we're producing now, or we're giving him now, it offloads all the back muscles, which is the first step to start healing. Because when we want to treat a muscle, the best thing to do is like offload it, as in like get it off work. And to do that, we need another force to replace your back muscles, which is the force of water now, or the floating, which is carrying the whole weight of Mr. Mark. Number two now, as you will see, we will start the jets. The hydrojets is drawing the water by the force of the jets to start massaging the muscles from your neck to your lower back while it's being offloaded. So this is the best you can do to it. Plus, the water temperature is 38 degrees, so it improves the blood supply to the back muscles, the relief, pain relief, and the healing process can start.
So when we say 38 degrees for our American listeners, we're talking roughly body temperature, is that right?
A little bit 1 or 2 Celsius above that. But because of the wrapping, as you can see we're doing, so it can go to 39. That's why he might get a little bit of sweat and getting rid of the toxins and improving the blood supply through the vasodilation of the vessels.
Is there ever a dizziness when you get up because of this process?
Sometimes people do get that dizziness because in the change of the blood pressure. That's why I had to make sure before we start the treatment if he had any problem with the blood pressure. But usually after the session, we teach him how to get off the bed in the proper way. We let him sit for about 1 minute, doing pumping exercise around the ankles to get the blood pumping to the muscle, and then he can stand up.
Okay, I'm going to ask Mark how he's doing, and then we should leave him to actually relax, I guess. Although I'm very excited to hear when you start getting pelted with water from underneath. How are you doing, sir?
I was all right until I heard I'm going to be taught to walk again at the end of this exercise.
Second step now, if you don't mind, we can start the second step, which is the hydrojet. So it's going to be a little bit noisy and loud.
Ooh, that's nice. It's just bubbles, lots and lots of bubbles.
So I can see that the top bit where your pillow would normally be is vibrating a fair bit, and they said it starts at the neck and goes down. So where's it up to?
My bottom.
And that is the perfect place to stop this podcast, or at least this interview.
This is the Jerusalem Post Podcast Travel Edition. Find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at MarkDavidPod, or mail us at markdavidpod@gmail.com.
How was it?
Warm. It got warmer and warmer by the end. I feel like I've been slow cooked last half hour.
All right, and how do you feel about your back?
It seems very good. You could feel the jets just going up and down and up and down. And as I dozed off, a jet would like come behind my head and wake me up again. So I never really went to sleep. But you probably heard me snoring next door.
To be honest, I couldn't, but I hope you enjoyed it. All right, so now we will just remove the flaps.
That's nice, just like cold air.
We will follow the best way to get off the bed, which is 3 steps. So step number 1, would you please come to your side first?
Okay.
That's number 1. Step 2, get your legs out of the bed and then push with your hands to sit down. Very good. Now for the coming minute, I would like you please, if you keep moving your ankles up and down. Do you feel dizzy already, or you're...
No, I feel fine. Very chilled. Well, warm, but chilled. Yeah. I mean, thankfully, my back was in pretty good condition beforehand. I've got some soreness in my lower spine. It doesn't feel sore at all. It's sore if I do too much with it. But no, I feel very, very good.
All right, good to hear. Okay, so now are you ready to get off the bed?
No, I didn't even fall over. David's waiting for that moment where I fall over.
I've got the effects microphone on, ready to hear the crash.
No, I've just got a big smile on my face, ready for when you have your treatment.
Maybe at this point, before we actually go next door, Dr. Ahmed, you can tell us what's in store for me.
Now we will do the electromechanical lymphatic drainage to you. It's a 30 minutes session as well. It will be like an air sleeve that you wear around your lower limbs, and using your diastolic blood pressure, we will start compressing air from down up, as in like towards your heart direction. We call it distal to proximal, and then I can explain to you as well the benefits.
Just one thought. What he did sounded like fun. What I'm about to do sounds like torture.
No, it's not. Actually, you will feel really good around your muscle because it's like improving your blood circulation, the function of your lymphatic system, and it's kind of a massage as well to your muscle if you have any accumulation of lactic acid. So we push it back. So it's a very soothing treatment as well. No torture at all.
David is now lying on a bed with two what look like plastic trouser legs about to be applied around him. I'm getting in the way.
They look a bit like fisherman's waders, but instead of the bottom part being sort of rugged material, it's just a continuation of the plastic, which is being zipped up around my left leg at the moment.
They're very blue, so they go very nicely with your T-shirt. David is now being zipped up. That's leg number one. How do you feel?
I'd never thought this before, but I think one of my legs is longer than the other leg looking at this.
If it wasn't beforehand, it might be afterwards. Now, where is that tube going to go?
We need to raise the lower part of the bed a little bit higher, close to the heart level or higher a little bit to improve the lymphatic drainage. As you can see here, this is the compressor. So we call this actually like sleeves, 3 units. Number 1 is the lower limb sleeves. Number 2 is like the upper limb sleeve. And then we have shorts, which we target the visceral and the inguinal lymph nodes. So for the lower limbs, we're using the pressure equal to your diastolic blood pressure, which is the lower reading of your blood pressure. So let's say your blood pressure today is...
My blood pressure, probably as a guess, is going to be 126, 127, over somewhere in the 80s.
For us, we're using the lower reading again. So for the lower limbs, the maximum, our readings or our values is between 60 to 100. And for the upper limbs, we're using between 40 to 60 maximum. So as you can see, there are like hose here attached to the compressor. And then once we start, there are like 4 chambers here. The air will start compressing each chamber from down up towards the heart, as in like distal to proximal. And then once it's fully inflated, it will take like few seconds and then deflate and then return the cycle again.
The sleeves are slowly inflating. I can see David's sleeved legs getting larger and larger.
On my feet at the moment, it feels a little bit like when you're having your blood pressure tested, there's that tightening and you can see that the sleeve is inflating. I'm wondering if I'm going to take off.
It's lymphatic drainage, but is there actually any fluid that will drain out of David's body, or it's just moving it around David's body?
Usually the function of this machine is like improving the venous return, which is improving the venous return back to your heart, hence improving the blood circulation. And then sometimes out of the blood vessel there are like some fluids leak. So push it back. We need to use this machine to push it back through the lymphatic vessels back to the lymph nodes located around your body for filtration and getting rid out of the extra fluids we have in our body. Also, it's interesting to understand that the function of our lymphatic system is all about optimizing the function of our immune system and getting rid of the digestive fats, getting rid of the extra fluid that leaks from the blood vessels, as we said before. And also, because as you can feel now, there is like pressure around muscles. So all the lactic acid accumulating in your muscle fibers and causing the pain and soreness, it gets released out by this type of massage and pressure back into the lymphatic vessels to the lymph nodes, and hence getting rid of out of all the bad toxins in your body.
The microwave has pinged. David is cooked. What are we doing now, Dr. Ahmed?
So now we're letting him off by lowering this part back to normal, like back to be below the heart level, and then we'll take the sleeves off. And it's important to understand that after this session, if you have feeling that the urge you want to go to the toilet for the coming 2 hours, this is pretty much normal. And we encourage you to increase your fluid intake for tonight as well. To see the desired effects, what we are aiming for is not only from one session, it's of course at least 6 to 8 sessions. And ideally, we should leave like 1 day gap between each session.
How are you feeling, old pal?
Well, on the bathroom front, given my age, it won't be any change from normal. I was thinking about what's it like. You know, when you've got a tube of toothpaste and you've got the last bit at the bottom of the tube and you want to get it out and you start squeezing at the bottom and you start moving your thumbs and fingers all the way up till it eventually comes out. That's exactly what I just did. And one other thing is also similar to when you're wearing the cuff is that mostly, say after the first 5 minutes, in the bottom of my right foot, you know how when you wear a cuff sometimes you feel like a heartbeat, you feel like your pulse? So I got exactly the same sensation in my right foot.
I'm checking your legs to see that they've not shriveled up. You can see on your legs the lines where the tubes were inflating and deflating. That's really, I should get a picture of that.
Feel free. It's great. I don't know what I'm meant to feel, but this is fab. So Mark, what next?
So our host Gabriel, who we'll talk to in more detail later, has brought us up to a different room. It says Wellness Clinic on it. And we're joined by the medical director of ZOYA Wellbeing, Dr. Sindy Yambo. Dr. Sindy, what are we going to do now and how is this going to help us?
So you're going to have an oxygen therapy. Basically, we are extracting oxygen from pure water. And this oxygen is going to be sent in your system through your airways with a low pressure. The air is also moisturized, so it means that the nostrils, the airways are not going to be dry by the treatment, and this is going to increase the level of oxygen in your blood. So by increasing the level of oxygen in your blood, you'll be able to do more quickly detoxification processes. The cells of your whole body are going to breathe better and they are going to be able to function much better.
Obviously, we want everybody who's listening to this to come to ZOYA to benefit from this. But is there something that people can do at home to improve that oxygen?
Definitely. It's important to open the windows at home, to have fresh air. If you can do it early in the morning, that is the best time when there's not too much pollution in the air. And apart from that, you need to have good levels of iron in your blood. This is going to increase your hemoglobin level, and this is going to increase the capacity of your body to catch oxygen from the air.
So later in this podcast, I think we're going to be spending a bit more time with you. But for now, thank you very much indeed.
You're most welcome.
We'll go and oxygenate.
Dave and I have decided to take a stroll through the resort, and we're lucky enough to be joined by Gabriel Azulay, who is the program director of ZOYA Health and Wellbeing Resort. Gabriel, hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited that you are here.
Tell us in general terms about this resort.
ZOYA Wellbeing is really an environment that first is quiet, connected, and natural. We are located right next to the mangroves on the other side of the town called Ajman. We're in a very beautiful area called Al Zora. Around us is green, and one would not expect that in the desert of the UAE.
It's a small resort. We said just over 60 rooms, if I remember rightly. Most of the rooms are either above our heads right now or just across the swimming pool. But what else is on the ground floor where we are?
Here on the ground floor, when you come in from the reception area, you're first met with large space. Mm-hmm. And it's important to point out that Albert Einstein said that space is like love. And so what happens immediately that you're learning to fall in love with yourself, not necessarily the place. You're expanded, there's windows everywhere so that you can see the magic and the expansiveness of the greenery that you are surrounded with. And as you come in from the reception area, then you're met with a beautiful hallway that if you need it, that will be where the medical director is, as well as the clinic where you can have fresh oxygen and maybe some IVs if the doctor feels that you would need them. As you continue, the light follows you, and it follows you both in the morning when the sun rises, all the way to now when we are here with the sunset behind us. And as you come in, you have a nice relaxing area with an immediate view of the large pool and the area outside. And then you're faced with the fact that our eating area, our round hall for all the guests to enjoy the vegan and some pescatarian food here, that you have the light.
The curves of the corridor give just, I don't know, maybe almost like a feeling of waves. It's a very special environment. You've also got on this floor library, meeting rooms, and so on.
And we have the most important part for the top level for me as a program director, the yoga space. The windows of the yoga studio look directly towards the sunset, and that's the best view in ZOYA if you're indoors to see how the sun goes down, which puts a whole new meaning on what the yoga is, not just for the physical body, but for a complete mind, body, and soul.
So, a very Mark question as we walk back through the restaurant. What time's dinner?
Dinner is when you choose to arrive to it. We do have on the timing between 5 to 8 because that's the dinner time. But you may have treatments, you may want to go to one of the sessions, and so you might end up coming to the dinner at around 7. And even if you arrived at 8, they will still serve you. But we do try to close the kitchen at 8 o'clock because part of the element is to help you understand that you don't want to eat too late. It's not so good for your body and digestion. And so we cut the kitchen off at 8 o'clock so that you are able to learn to pay attention to how you feel with your relationship with food.
Just a couple of more general questions about the facility. So, for example, I noticed, I think close to the gym, there is a men's prayer room. I noticed you've got a men's spa, a couple's spa, and a women's spa. How much is local culture, local sensitivity, local religion taken into account here?
We take the local elements of tradition very seriously, which is why we have a prayer room next to the gym. That's why we have a separate area for women on the other side of the facility down below, so that the tradition can feel both welcomed and accepted. But we're also very modern, which is a very wonderful thing of the UAE, which is why we have a couple spa. And so we tailor and we provide the opportunity for people to experience their tradition, as well as, if they want to see what it's like to step out of tradition, and as well for those people who have a different tradition altogether to feel welcome. And that's the most important. How do I make you feel welcome, feel safe, feel nourished? And if you can feel that, then we can start to build on that a better relationship to find your inner smile.
If anybody wants to look up this fabulous resort, how can they do so?
They can easily just use the hashtag ZOYA Wellbeing as one word and find us on Facebook or Instagram. And they can take the same word, ZOYAWellbeing.com, and find our website.
Thank you to you, Gabriel. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you for this beautiful tour. And we're looking forward to meeting more of the staff during our stay.
Mark, David, I really want to thank you for being here and me having the capacity of meeting you, showing you the area. We've had wonderful conversations off the mic. And if you come here, you can enjoy those conversations with me as well.
And so we have moved on to do some diagnostic work on the guinea pig Mark.
This is where someone officially tells me you're bang out of shape.
Well, let's find out. First of all, what's your name?
My name is Myanmar. I'm from the Philippines, so I'm a physiotherapist here at ZOYA Health and Wellbeing Resort in the physiotherapy department, of course, and I'll be doing the Deer's myoline strength analysis with Mr. Mark.
Is that the machine has already taken that picture of me? Because I do like that six-pack on there. And
So this is just a full body map that represents the muscles we're going to test every segment of the machine.
I'm sort of doing the commentary here while the two of them get familiar. Mark is sitting, I guess it's a sort of, Mark's saying a torture rack. It's the sort of thing that you would expect to see in a gymnasium, as in for weight work and so on, but it's almost as if every single apparatus in a gym was stuck together into one machine. It's got arms and legs and something just over his head that looks like it's about to pound him.
If I was dressing up as Robocop for Purim, this is like putting on the outfit.
We'll start with putting up your weight and height. So we're going to have to set your weight, please.
Mark has actually told me to go away whilst he admits what his weight is. I just heard what it was, and it's absolutely shocking.
So we're going to start with your legs and then your arms, your shoulders, and up to your cervical. So it's a 28 test direction and 1 sitting. You're going to have to push all your strength on the machine. It's made with sensors, so a lot of pushing will happen.
So Mark's given his weight, which he kept secret, and his height and his age and so on, and now he's being strapped in.
So we will start with your legs. We're going to do all motions: extension, flexion, abduction, and adduction. So this is your screen here. So we have 2 colors representing your extremities, which is the blue one represents the right, the red one represents the left. So there will be 2 sounds. First sound, you need to push up in extension as much as you can. Second beep, you need to stop. So it's a 7-second test. Okay?
I'm being strapped down because I'm cheating. Apparently, I have to keep my butt on the chair.
What was interesting there in the practice run was that Mark actually didn't appear to be moving his legs at all.
I was thinking that it would move, so I'm waiting for my leg to go up and it's not moving.
This is not about testing the machine. This is about testing you, Mark.
No, but I thought part of what it would do, just because it looks like an exercise machine, is it would go up. Now I realise.
Whenever Mark starts an answer with no but, you know that he's under pressure.
No, but I'm not under pressure. Well, I've really been cheating. I've got like 2 straps on me now.
So 10, 15 minutes later, Mark is on the last test. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm very good. I'm learning things about myself and my balance between my right and my left. I assumed I was a very right-handed person, but over my body, in different parts of my body, it's very mixed. I'm not as strong as I possibly could be, though.
You've had your glasses removed. Your eyes are now bionic?
No, I'm doing neck exercises, so I'm going to have something put on my head and probably start moving my neck, so you can't have the glasses next to the pad next to my head.
Next, we'll do the last test is the cervical. So we'll do all motions: left lateral flexion, right lateral flexion, forward and backward. Use your neck slowly, okay?
That wasn't Mark's neck cricking, it was just the machine being recalibrated. What's great about all of the machinery that we've seen here at ZOYA is that there is a screen that the user, the guest here, can see all the time how they are performing, which allows for room for improvement once they're told where the improvement needs to be. Sometimes it's a shame it's a podcast and not video, because Mark is half focused and half pained.
I wasn't pained. I was just trying not to overstretch my neck and cause damage. Just trying to find out whether my neck is strong or not, because if I damage it, then I know it isn't.
The attachment will be in front of your face. So I just want you to close your eyes and push with your forehead.
There's a contraption around his nose, covering his eyes, and I think in a second or 2 he's going to be asked to push forwards.
This is like metaphorically measuring how I can bang my head against a wall.
Mark looks like, I don't know, maybe it's the male version of giving birth. You've actually got a circle on your forehead where you've been pressing. Now you've done all the tests, what happens next?
After the test, there's instant results here. So you can see like a body diagram of Mr. Mark here with the colors corresponding to the muscles. So we have green, yellow, and red. Green represents the normal strength. Yellow is medium weakness, and red, it means it's totally weak.
And this is red all over the place.
Liar. I'm amazed how much green there is. I would have expected some red. On my left-hand side, there is some yellow around my thigh and at the back of my arm. But other than that, I'm normal, which is quite odd.
Is this a fairly typical image that you get of people coming through here?
It depends, actually. It depends on the age, the gender, the type of if the guest has like conditions, like they are in pain, like doing the test, and they're going for physiotherapy. So it depends really. But usually, of course, there will be a difference on the left and right. There is not like 100% all green, to be honest. Even sports guests, like very strong guests. So there's gonna be a difference on both sides.
Given that it's predominantly green, Is there anything to do here? I mean, he looks like he doesn't look like, but according to the machine, he's a pretty perfect specimen. So is there room for improvement?
Of course, of course. So we're seeing here a few points. So we have two comparisons here. So we're going to compare the left and right. For the first one, the first slide, he is weak on his arms, elbow on the right extension, which is the right triceps. And for the leg, it's the leg extension on the left, which is the left quads. So actually, it's a good result for the right and left comparison.
Even though the first picture was all green and yellow, there's lots of reds now.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we edit this section out? It was good until now.
So here now, Mr. Mark, is your results. So you are practically know your body mechanics, and you're pretty much aware of your weak points. So we can go ahead to Mr. Ozjan, our fitness trainers, and you can focus on these muscle groups you need to do.
Oh, thank you so much. So it's time for us to move out of the diagnostics room. By the way, this gymnasium is absolutely fantastic. It's otherworldly. Imagine your regular gym and all of that gear, and then imagine a whole layer of computers and screens, and also the setting is fab. And it's got all the usual TV screens and so on, so you can watch people doing yoga, and they're showing sporting events. Lovely to see the London Olympics on one of the screens. And now Mark is going to meet Mr. Oz.
Hello, Mr. Oz. Nice to meet you. You've now seen my chart and that I'm half normal, but I have some weak areas. What would you recommend we do? And you can help make me better.
Hello, Mr. Mark. Yes, I saw your diagnostic already. So I prepare some exercise for you. Of course, our aim is to give you better shape here, or better version of you. We will do some Alter G anti-gravity treadmill. It is going to work with air blowing. So we need to do some cardiovascular exercise. Then after that, we can do some strength exercise with you.
While Mr. Oz is setting everything up, how are you feeling about all of this? Are you nervous? Are you concerned? Are you pleased you've had the diagnostic test?
Firstly, I'm very pleased that the diagnostic is not as shocking as I thought it would be. Seeing where my weaknesses are, if I was genuinely coming here for a month or 2 weeks, I would know what to work on. It would be very targeted, and it would help improve the things that need improving rather than just general weights. And
Hello, Mr. Mark again. So please wear this neoprene suit. Then I will take you to the Alter G.
Once again, one of us is getting dressed in strange clothing.
it looks halfway between a large bucket with 2 leg holes that I'm putting on, but it's flexible. It's kind of like a pair of clown's pants.
How appropriate. So Mark, who's concerned about his weight, was given whatever these trousery things are, a size too big, and he's delighted to see that he's ready for the smaller size. And that's without any of the exercise regime.
I've never put on things like this before. They're kind of like what divers wear. Not quite as clowny as the last pair.
This machine is going to be a little noisy.
So Mark is stepping onto an anti-gravity treadmill.
So Mr. Mark, now we start to calibrate machine, and then this process takes like 20 seconds. Compressor start blowing. Please stay still. Huh?
What Mr. Oz did tell me is this machine will reduce my weight by up to 80%. So we can forget about diets. It's Pizza Hut tonight because I've lost 80%.
So this machine is blowing up like a balloon. It actually looks as though Mark is about to ride a horse.
I'm being lifted up. My trousers are pulling themselves up.
Is it painful?
I might be singing soprano soon.
So Mr. Mark, you back your 100% body weight. Okay. Let's start the session. Open the video first. So during the exercise, you're able to see your movements. And if you need to correct yourself, you can do it. Right. First, let's start to decrease your body weight 20%. 20% of your body weight. We remove it already. You ready to move? Yeah. Okay, let's go.
So what we're looking at is a treadmill, but in an area where less of his weight is critical. Why is this significant in what you're trying to do?
We always believe that first move well, then move often. This treadmill actually good for the rehabilitation and prehabilitation, and good for the after injury and surgery, because we're able to reduce the body weight up to 80%. For 60-70 kilogram person, is maybe make no sense. But for the overweight or for the people who has an injury or surgery, it makes sense for them. We make them move after very long time maybe, or make them move in the more comfortable ways. Now we're going to decrease your body weight up to 50%.
Feel bouncy because it's sort of lifting me up to reduce my weight. So everything feels lighter. I'm walking quite slowly, so it still feels like I'm ambling, like a fat person, but I'm bouncing as I walk a little bit.
I just want to point out that no marks have been injured in the making of this podcast.
Yet. I'm almost like holding on to that I don't float off into space.
I can see down below his feet, and it really does look like what you imagine a moonwalk would be.
Giant steps are what we take, walking on the moon.
The anti-gravity treadmill has finally given up on Mark and has deflated. How are you feeling, sir?
Disappointed that I'm back up to 100%. I don't feel deflated. No, it was good. It was good. I even walked backwards at one point, which apparently is very good for my hamstrings.
Because you can move in any direction you want because you're not affected by gravity.
Yeah, and it has a reverse setting on the walking machine. So we've only been here, 24 hours? I already feel, we've been eating healthier. We've been doing exercise, been having treatments. I don't feel worse. I'm starting to feel mentally a bit more positive.
Mr. Oz, thank you very much indeed for your time. It's been really, really nice to meet you.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
Hi, this is David Harris from the Jerusalem Post podcast Travel Edition. Find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at MarkDavidPod or mail us at markdavidpod@gmail.com.
After a hard workout, what better to do than eat again? We are in the kitchen at ZOYA. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello all. So I'm Chef Abhi. I'm the junior sous chef for ZOYA Wellbeing. And absolutely, like as you said, after a hard workout, it's food what can make you more energetic. So you're in the kitchen and we are in the guest kitchen here. And I have my chefs cooking food for today's lunch. And as you see, we have dal makhani, that's Indian food. And we will be having some sweets like raw brownies, berry cheesecake for the lunch also.
The menu here, is it calorie controlled? A lot of hotels and resorts, you have a buffet and people go and feed themselves till they can't walk. How is the menu controlled here to keep people healthy?
Here, we have different programs, like we have vacation program, so in which also we have sets like from breakfast, there is one snack, then we have the lunch, then there is again a snack and a lunch and a dinner, which is followed by some of the drinks from our juice bar also. And if you consider the weight management program or the physio program, then we have the calorie tailored menu where we have the calorie counts counted for the guest, and in that case the nutritionist is the person who gets the menu for us. Like we do the dishes here and then she gets the calorie counts, and then we decide this is the particular dish or the menu which a guest should follow here for the weight management. And if you consider the detox program, we have detoxing with the juices and also with the green salads over here. So all these are tailored for particular guests. It's not kind of a buffet or a la carte session which you see in other hotels, but it's we have the tailored menu. That's the main word which I would like to highlight. And this tailoring is basically for the calorie counts and according to the allergens and also the intolerance of the guest. Also, we do take care here.
I'm just looking on the wall here. It actually reminds me of part of Mark's kitchen because Mark's wife, Catherine, absolutely loves Tupperware and to have all sorts of ingredients. Can you just talk us through, you've got here dozens and dozens of Tupperware boxes, some of the things that we're looking at.
First of all, our restaurant is a vegan restaurant, so it's a plant-based things. So what we use here is completely the nuts and the seeds, and these all are the organic seeds which we get from our suppliers. And the Tupperwares that you're seeing here is having the nuts, like you see the cashew nuts, peanuts, pecan nuts and all. And here we use the almond milk. Also the seeds like the sunflower seeds, sesame seeds and the brown flex seeds are also there, which is a part of our multi-seed crackers, which is combined with some tomatoes and some tamari in that. We try to keep the usage of the whole spices like the coriander seeds and the fenugreek seeds. Then we have the whole cardamoms, which help us to make our in-house masalas, especially for the Indian foods. Some of the drinks need to have the cardamom flavor, so it helps to add the more flavors to it. So that's why you see like more Tupperwares here with all our spices, seeds and nuts over here.
Mark and I grew up in the West, him in London, me in Manchester, where we were used to fish and chips and typical unhealthy Western food. The staff in the kitchen are all Asian, both from South Asia and also Southeast Asia. Does your background, do you think, or the place that you come from, help with healthy eating, healthy thinking about food?
Absolutely. Like when you go back to your roots, it's always kind of a healthy eating which we practice from our home. So it's a personal choice. At the last, it's always a personal choice, and it's not always the food, but the physical activities that we do in our day-to-day life help us to keep healthy and live a good life in the future.
I can see a sticker on the fridge that says happy birthday cake. How do you make a healthy happy birthday cake?
Our healthy cake options are the berry cheesecakes and the mango cheesecakes, which we have. And also we have raw brownie, which is part of the happy birthday cake that we serve to the guests, like a complimentary birthdays or when they celebrate their anniversaries, honeymoons and things like that. We do serve them the raw brownie, which is having a good return ups of the happy birthday or the happy anniversary with the decorations and all. That's our healthy option for the birthday cakes.
It's my birthday today, isn't it, David?
Oh, Chef, thank you so much indeed for allowing us a peek into your kitchen. It's very much appreciated. Thank you to all of the staff, and thank you for having kept us very happy about the food here while we've been here.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy that you enjoyed the food, and I hope you come back with us with your families and also have a good stay with us in the future. Thank you so much.
At ZOYA, you've got the food, you've got the machines, you've got the various treatments, but you also have the doctors, the medical team. There are doctors, there are nurses, there are physical therapists, as we've already met, and in charge of that medical side of things is the medical director, Dr. Sindy, or Dr. Sindy Yambo, but everybody here calls you Dr. Sindy. Thank you for giving us some of your time.
Hi, I'm very happy to meet you. And I hope that you are enjoying your stay here in ZOYA. So yes, we have various treatments here in ZOYA, various medical treatments. We are working mainly with integrative medicine.
Can you explain what that is?
So integrative medicine is a mix between conventional medicine and natural medicine. So basically we assess the patient like any conventional doctor. And we also do the natural medicine assessment, which is giving us a holistic idea of how the body of the people is working, what is the status, and this helps us recommending some treatments. And all the treatments we are recommending are 100% natural, so we are not prescribing any chemicals. We are working with plant extracts, minerals, vitamins. The different machines we are using light or water or nitrogen, all of these, yeah.
I come to the clinic for, say, 2 weeks. Do I need to turn up with my medical records so that you can assess everything about me before you start treatment, or is there an assessment when I arrive?
So actually both options are available. If you have a medical report, it's always the best. So we can actually, before your arrival, we already have an idea of what is the conditions, if there are any. And we can also already start working on your program. Now some of the guests are telling us, well, no, I don't really have any medical records. I just want to have, let's say, 2 weeks of detox. Then they will come, we'll do the assessment here, we'll do the blood test as well. And from the assessment, we'll be able to recommend some treatments.
What types of patients, I don't know if you call them patients or guests, are you dealing with here? Are they very typical conditions? Is it somebody who just says, I'm a bit of overweight? Or have you got people with breathing issues, perhaps cancer, perhaps cardiological issues?
So typically the people coming here are coming for detox. They want a clean body and they are into prevention. We also have people coming for weight loss. We have also people coming for anti-aging or rehabilitation. When I say rehabilitation, I'm talking about mainly musculoskeletal rehabilitation. So those are the most common profiles, but this is not the only things we are doing. We are doing detox post-cancer. If the patient is declared free from cancer after 6 months, they are eligible to come here for a detox, because you know that chemotherapy, radiotherapy is creating a lot of waste inside the body. And we have specific programs to clean the body. We also have detox programs for cabin crews, from the airlines, because they also are under high radiations. We also have fitness programs, for people who just want to get fit and have a toned body. We also have specific programs for people who are into sports, like athletes, just to boost their performance, to give the essential nutrients through vitamin drips, for example, essential nutrients their body need to have a better performance.
The treatment that I would receive here as a patient, is it finite? It finishes when I leave here, or do you give people the ability to carry on the treatment once they finish their stay here?
So we are having the treatment while they are staying. When they are leaving, they are going with a 3 months food supplement recommendation, and we also offer follow-up consultations if they are happy to have them. Then these follow-up consultations may happen physically if the patients are in the UAE, and if they are not in the UAE, we can give them online.
You've largely worked in hospital settings, clinic settings. Has it been an interesting jump to be in a place that believes very much in a holistic approach?
Well, actually here in ZOYA, I would say that the big difference with any allopathic, like very traditional allopathic clinic or hospital, is the approach. When we do the assessment, it's mixed assessment. We assess them as an allopathic doctor, but without prescribing all the tests like X-rays and CT scanners. And we also assess them on a natural way, which is mainly through different questions. We need to understand the lifestyle, the hour of sleep, the level of stress, the type of diet they have, the type of liquid intake, and all of these. So through all these questions and the physical examination, we have a holistic approach. And we are mainly oriented towards wellness. So we are trying to be kind with the bodies that are coming here. So the guests, we want not to harm them, and we want to be kind and offer gentle medicine, if I can say that.
David and I are very lucky that for our age we look very young. But how would you medically make us younger, the anti-aging treatment? How does that work on a medical basis?
There are different aspects. First, we need to have an assessment to understand how the liver and the kidneys are working. Liver is very important for all the detox processes. Once we have an idea of how your body is working, then we'll start working on detoxifying the body, giving you the essential vitamins, plant extract, to clean the whole body. We are cleaning the blood, we are cleaning the liver, we are cleaning the kidneys, we are cleaning the whole digestive system, the gut. And once that is done, then we will fill your body with essential nutrients. These nutrients are going to help your body regenerating. That's for the inside part. And then we will have also some external treatment, dermatology treatment, mainly aesthetic treatment. So we are going to work on the skin. We will offer a deep cleaning. We can also offer some fillers that are completely natural with hyaluronic acid. There are many options that can be done. And also, of course, we are giving all the recommendations on the diet, the lifestyle to remain young. And we are giving the recommendations on food supplements to take on a regular basis, like these powerful antioxidants, like vitamin C, like green tea, depending on your condition.
I think David and I are going to try some treatments later, some facial treatments.
It doesn't matter how many times I'm treated, I don't think there's any hope for me anymore. When we spoke to you last very briefly, and I said, are there things that people can do at home to get more oxygen? And you made a very simple tip of opening the windows in the mornings and so on. Have you got one more tip, one more thing that anybody listening to this who, unfortunately, because they live in New Zealand or wherever, will not make it to ZOYA, something that they can do to holistically improve their condition, whether it's physical, spiritual?
The diet is so important. And everyone is saying this, but it's true. The food you put in your body is like a fuel. If you put the wrong fuel in a car, the car is not going to work properly. So you need to give the proper fuel. And for us as human beings, we are supposed to eat mainly vegetables. We can have little meat, we can have little dairy, and I'm not really in favor of dairy products, but it has to remain in small quantities compared to the vegetables. That's very important. We need to move as well. We need to use our muscles. We need to use our joints. By exercising, actually, we are increasing the level of oxygen in the blood because the heart is working more, pumping more. Our oxygen intake is much higher when we are exercising. So just having a proper diet, exercising regularly, drinking water, very important to clean detox. And if you want to add something else, I would say try to have enough vitamin C in your diet, either from the fruits. You know, there are some fruits like kiwi. It's not always citrus fruits. Kiwi is very rich in vitamin C. Parsley is a vegetable very rich in vitamin C if it's not cooked or heated. So just having enough vitamin C, clean diet, exercising regularly. It's not that complicated.
You make it all sound so simple. Dr. Sindy Yambo, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for visiting ZOYA, and I hope you're going to enjoy the rest of your stay.
David?
Mark.
You know when we went to Berlin and said never again?
Yes.
I've just put on a pair of paper underpants.
I don't know if it's paper, but they're
And
very...
I'm now lying on a bed wearing paper underpants next to you, although you're on a separate bed, I might add.
You're covered in a towel on your lower extremities,
I know.
but still.
I'm still trying to work out why for a neck and shoulder massage I need to change into a pair of underpants.
Well, there was back as well, I suspect, because we got a choice of the oils that we could use here at ZOYA. There was almond oil, there was coconut oil, and something called soft oil. Did you select one?
I didn't even see that. Was I supposed to turn the page?
Yes, there was another side of the page where you were also meant to sign your life away.
Oh, I wondered when you said the date. I've only done the bit saying I'm medically well, apart from my hamstrings.
So we're about to have a massage. I'm not sure whether it's deep or moderate or what. I think you had the choice.
It's
again.
all included. It's very moderate.
On the other side of the page, if you'd have turned over, you've got to choose the type of massage you got, Mark. So you're just going to get whatever comes.
Oh, God. That's why I'm in my underpants. Not even in my own underpants.
Oh, dear. So the beauty of ZOYA is that on the one hand, we just heard from Dr. Sindy, who is giving you the medical sort of scientific side of things, but also here you're getting the very physical, the very practical, whether it's the physical therapy or in the case of what we're about to do now, the massage. And by the way, just to our right, Mark, of course, is that's left. To the right, the other side of the wall, is the spa, which hopefully we'll try a bit later. But given the steam hissing and so on, I suspect we won't be taking on microphones in there.
Oh, we've got another treatment before that as well.
What else are we having? Facial.
Some sort of facial, yeah, because to help that anti-aging process in a day.
As I said in front of Dr. Sindy, I don't think anything ever is going to stop my face from aging.
Well, if you have the Botox next time she recommends a treatment you don't like, your face won't move anyway.
Right, I suspect that the two ladies who are going to be looking after us, who are called Natalie and
Natalie's friend.
Natalie's friend, are waiting to come back in. They're probably timidly waiting till we put the microphones away. We'll probably tell you about this on the other side. Oh, Mark.
Hi.
So, do you remember when we were kids, there used to be before and after ads for hairspray and for all sorts of products?
I smell like a coconut.
I asked them for the least smelly, so I smell like lavender.
Oh, that's horrid.
It was unbelievable.
Yes.
But at least I remember what happened.
I was not asleep.
The
I
snoring,
was very relaxed.
The snoring emanate. You don't deny that you were snoring, do you?
No. Every like minute or so, I felt myself going, and I could hear it. But it was like I was in such a state of relaxation. I might as well have been asleep.
So I was laughing every so often, not all the time, but I was laughing every time.
I could hear you're cruel.
Yeah, every time you snored. But what was unbelievable, I think, that the two ladies, our wonderful, wonderful masseuses, did not giggle, did not titter, did not smile. They must be used to putting people to sleep.
Yeah, I think this is so relaxing.
Yeah.
And I had an eye mask on, so I couldn't see what they were doing
That
anyway.
when we turned onto our backs. The eye mask is scented, is it?
I don't know.
I know. You've got one right there, so have a sniff.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really nice. It's a very gentle smell because
Yeah.
I don't do strong smells, but this was fantastic. So thank you very much to Natalie and Natalie's friend. And we're on to our next treatment.
Today we will be doing venous legacy. Okay, for venous legacy, this is a procedure where we do body contour. It's also tightening the skin, at the same time the lipolysis, breaking down the fat cells. So it's really good if we have like saggy body parts or something like that.
David definitely has saggy body parts. That's not a problem.
Something like that. So yes, we can do it not only for the face, we can also do it in any part of our body.
Would you like me to tell you where David's saggy body parts are?
All right. Okay. So, but now we'll be doing the face. Let you sign the consent first.
While David is filling out that form, shall I leave you to it? So I've come back after a treatment and there's a younger man on the bed. What's happened to you?
I've been in the wonderful, wonderful company of Diane and Venus and a machine that goes and gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And it's giving me radio frequencies as well. You can get all the details from them if you want them. And your face goes sort of hot. And then the top half, they only do radio frequencies. And so goes away. But because they say they in this area, if they do too much, you end up looking bruised and punched.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is in fact David, and the radio frequencies have slightly messed with his head. But please bear with him while he talks in between his noises.
So I want to go and look at myself in the mirror and see what I look like.
Go for it. Did they do your belly as well, or was it just a facial?
Just the face.
Definitely under the eyes. You were very saggy under your eyes before we came.
It's funny you should say that because I was just saying before that my eyes, when I wake up in the morning here, is always very saggy. It looks smoother. It's still a bit puffy, maybe, but definitely looks a bit smoother.
I believe you need more than one treatment to make it have a sort of more permanent effect.
As I said to you before, I need no end of treatment would ever make me beautiful.
Beautiful, no, but maybe slightly younger.
What's next? What happens? Obviously, I need to come back and do more treatments. But is that it? Is there something you can do at home? Are there things that you shouldn't do? I think I heard you mentioning that diet is important. So what advice would you have for listeners?
If you want to see a very good result, you need to do at least 6 to 8 sessions. Okay, it should be weekly. But of course, before that, we need to assess your skin. And also, avoid the direct sunlight. You need also to do proper diet, exercise at the same time. If you want, you can also start in your home, at home, that you use hyaluronic acid. It's really good for the wrinkles and fine lines. It helps us minimize the fine lines.
Thank you so, so much.
You're welcome. Right now, we're going to do hydrofacial. So for the hydrofacial, we will be doing exfoliation, cleaning, and also extraction of the whiteheads, blackheads, or the sebum, something like that. It's the most safe procedure in a derma department. So yeah, if you're ready, then
They've got a lot of work to do, haven't they, Mark?
Yes. Yes, they need a file and like a sort of sandpaper before they get going.
Well, I'll leave the two of you to it, and we'll come and pay a visit in half an hour. Goodbye. It's always a funny moment when you walk into a medical treatment room and you see a man looking into a mirror, holding the mirror close to his face to see if he's beautiful. Mark, are you beautiful?
I don't know, you tell me.
I'm blind. I'll take another photograph, and you can pull the same grimace that you did beforehand. We did before and after photographs, and then you can see yourself. Hang on a minute. Why don't we do it while we're recording? Maybe you can explain for us a little bit more of what it was like while I'm taking this photograph.
What we did for our friend here, we did hydrofacial, cleansing, exfoliating, at the same time extraction of blackheads, whiteheads, and the sebum. So right now, Mr. Mark's face is a little bit red. It's just normal because of the combination of suction and, we put some solution on it. It will just go away. You don't have to worry, Mr. Mark. It will just go away in a few minutes. So depending on your skin condition, could be a few hours, all right? But normally your skin is hydrated. The principle of hydrofacial is to hydrate the skin.
How many blackheads and how many whiteheads?
Oh, I can say that no blackheads and no whiteheads, to be honest.
Are left. Mark, 2 photographs, before and after. Can you tell me which is which?
I think that might be before,
Okay.
and that one will be after because I'm slightly redder. My skin looks moister, but I have very good pores apparently, like closed pores, which means I don't have many whiteheads or blackheads. It doesn't look so great close up. You're making me nervous now as we look at this picture.
Look at those lines on your forehead in the photograph.
But that wasn't the treatment.
Diane, thank you so much on behalf of both of us. This has been fantastic. We wish we would come back. Maybe we will one day.
We'll be happy to have you here.
You're listening to the Jerusalem Post podcast, Travel Edition. So, since we had our treatments, the two of us have been looking in every single mirror, preening and thinking about how young we look and how vibrant we have become, and all in, 24 hours, I guess.
About an hour and a half.
What, the actual treatment?
Oh, yeah.
No, we've been doing stuff.
48 hours because
Yeah.
it's Sunday now,
Yeah.
remember.
It's been phenomenal. How do you feel?
Hungry? No, on a serious note, I feel good because I think there's a joined up philosophy here, from medical to the beauty treatments to the gym. There's a whole philosophy that it's not just a treatment. It's about what you put into your body for a start, putting in water, plenty of water and plenty of good food into your body, and cleansing your body is the start of the process, and everything else is, complementary.
We're excited because we're just after the skin treatments and facial suction things and whatever, but everybody has said to us at the same time that a lot of what we're doing here can be achieved at home if you live the right way. That having been said, here you get the advantage of being pampered. There's the gorgeous pool, there's the golf course all around us, there's a lagoon with flamingos just a bike ride away.
And herons.
And yes, you can cycle from here. I think they said the loop on the cycle track is about 30 kilometres or 20 miles or so, in one direction towards the sea, in the other direction towards the lagoon and beyond into the nearest city, Ajman.
Al Zora is a new area of Ajman that's being built up. You've got the traditional Ajman beach that you can see when you go into Al Zora beach, but it's being built up. The golf course is new. This resort is only a few months old. There's another hotel on the beach that's less than a year old, and there are villas being built all around. This, in a couple of years' time, will be a central focal holiday resort in the United Arab Emirates.
And so the suggestion might be to actually come here now before everything sells out. I'm not talking about buying apartments, but come to a place like ZOYA to have this experience, to see also the neighbourhood in its natural state. So you've got those mangroves. We're sitting now on the balcony of my room, and I can see the mangroves across the golf course from where we're sitting.
If you've been to Dubai, if you've been to Abu Dhabi, you'll know how busy they are, how built up they are. There's a lot going on. Coming here to this part of the Emirates, and this resort has been so peaceful and so relaxing. In addition to all the nutrition, all the spiritual nutrition that we've received, it's just quiet.
And it's also only 30 minutes, 20 minutes away from Dubai International Airport. The journey is really inexpensive to get over here. Time to say a few thank yous.
Firstly, thank you to Emirates for bringing us here.
I would also like to thank all the staff at ZOYA. Particular mentions for Mustafa Fahmi, the general manager, to Radwa, Gabriel, and all the rest of the team who have really looked after us. Every single person, not just in terms of making sure we're having a good time, but just stopping and chatting, which I think on a few previous pods, both Mark and I have said, is something special about certain locations.
If you enjoyed this podcast, we have probably 45 others now to listen to. A real library, encyclopedia of travel. So start at number 1, or just pick a location you want, download it and subscribe to the Jerusalem Post podcast for future podcasts.
If there's a location that you would like us to visit or talk about, then please just drop us an email to markdavidpod@gmail.com. And @MarkDavidPod is also where you'll find us across social media.
Can we have the answer to the quiz question, David?
Absolutely, you can. So, let's see how many you can do, Mark. So the question was, we've named 3 of the 7 Emirates, as in Abu Dhabi, the capital, Dubai, and now we've learnt about Ajman. Can you name the other 4?
So Ajman is next to Sharjah. We saw
Correct.
that on the way. And then further up the coast is Fujairah.
Actually, you're right, there's Fujairah, but it's not up the coast. It's on the other side of this peninsula.
I thought it was on both sides.
No,
It's like a
that's not Fujairah.
Okay. So on the other side is Ras Al Khaimah.
Ras Al Khaimah is up at the top,
Yes.
right?
Which then just leaves the unpronounceable one that I keep forgetting, Al
Quwain.
There you go.
But very, very well done, Mark. As usual, Mark knows all the quiz questions and answers. Folks, it's been a pleasure. We've loved it. We hope you have as much as we have. If you have any questions, please get in touch and we can put you in touch with the very nice people here at ZOYA.
David, your skin still looks very shiny in the sun. They've done a lovely job on you.
Oh, I wish I could say the same. Folks, take care.
Bye-bye.